Hello everyone, and welcome back to Jesse Heck Creative. This time we're going over some Spider-Man retro figures, as well as some figures from further in the past. Let's get to it. So taking a look at last place Peter Parker here, I find that Peter Parker has this very sort of goggle-looking feel to his eyes right here. These kind of sort of goggle glasses here, you can kind of peek up under them, and they look very interesting right here, but it's just a regular Peter Parker head instead of the head you'd normally want on him. But I find that this doesn't stand well, but it looks better. This stands really well, but doesn't really fit Peter Parker too much, kind of like a Letterman kind of jacket, and the articulation is pretty alright with this guy. Same normal stuff you'd see on any other Marvel legend, basically the Stan Lee figure, if you will, and yet it just doesn't really bring anything new to the table for me. I like these tennis shoes a lot. They're really nice tennis shoes, and yet they should have been on Stan Lee in the first place. That would have been wonderful to see, and it's just sort of a miss from Hasbro as to how it just did work. I actually never used this joint before, bending him down a little bit. He has good ab crunch, good back ab crunch, but I just don't find that it really makes sense to me, this kind of figure right here. It's good, but it's not really, this kind of good. I like this one way better, not just because I made it, but because I think it looks a little more Peter Parker to me. I never really understood this kind of glasses thing, but he has one more head. Let's take a look at that. He comes with this head right here, which is a sort of shock expression as far as it goes with his spider sense on one side and him on the other side when he's thinking about being Spider-Man, or you could put this on the Spider-Man head, he's thinking about being Peter Parker. And also he comes with this nice little camera right here. You can kind of see the little contours and stuff on this camera. It looks really nice. I think it's pretty cool. It's a nice little bulky camera. Finally, we have a camera that isn't really a camera phone. It harkens back to the days when you had to have an actual camera in order to shoot pictures instead of just pull your phone out of your pocket, carry it around your neck. Kind of like what I saw Jessica Jones carry, and what actually professional photographers carry. Not everyone carries this kind of camera, but Peter Parker has it, and it's pretty cool. If you want to do a little kit bashing too, you can put the other head on this one right here, and then just give this one a jacket and make him sort of a Bruce Banner kind of type. I didn't swap the arms because it was kind of short notice, but I found this would be a pretty good compromise if you want to use Bruce Banner and a different kind of Peter Parker without the glasses. That would be much better than this head over here. Yet, I find that this is pretty cool, these two guys, and they look great. Just swap the arms on Banner. So next up we have the Green Goblin. The one on the left is the older one, the more modern Green Goblin, and the one on the right is the new retro classic Green Goblin. I think the colors are better on the new one, and on the old one the sculpt is better, I think, at least on the face. I really like that old creepy face versus the newer, goofier face. So as far as sculpt, the Green Goblin looks really great. He's the same as the old one. I really like how he looks. He has really good articulation too. It's kind of hard to get his arms up sometimes though, but the legs are great over here. Got some nice splits over there. You could also do a nice little bend over here, twist on the top, twist on the bottom. A nice ankle pivot over here. Looks really good. Swivels, elbow. The glove kind of hinders a little bit. The hands are both pumpkin bomb holding hands. It's pretty cool. You can also put on and take off his little purse thing over here, for lack of a better term. Looks really nice. It's in a nice pink color, sort of matching and complementing the sort of like darker magenta mauve kind of color over here. His belt is that same kind of pink as this, ties it all together. I don't like this though, this piece right here, this collar. It doesn't really work that well. It just kind of rides up sometimes and rides down. Doesn't really do all that much in the way of making it look good. So they should have glued it down or pegged it down in some way. It would have looked way better. The face sculpt looks really nice. Very scary. The eyes are a point of contention with a lot of people, and apparently they said they were going to fix them, but they didn't. I kind of like it. It's very kooky, creepy, scary Green Goblin. The pupils either smaller or non-existent. That would have worked well. There's a little bit of shading and some wash on the top. I like how it trails off to the back, gives the illusion he's moving. You have a peg hole in the back, put him on a stand or something, like he's flying away or whatever. Peg holes on the bottom of his feet, with a little code on the bottom of his feet. Not on here. I wish they did that more. And aside from this purse thing, let's check out his other accessories. I have since lost track of which pumpkin bomb Green Goblin came with, but he comes with one of them. But this glider is really cool. And he's on a stand from the White Rabbit figure. And I did that with Red Goblin a while ago and Demo Goblin. You could just invert it in any way you want. You could put him on in any way you want. His feet loop into these little holes right here. As you can see, just putting one foot in, there's a little loop on his foot. Boom, you're fine. And then you put him right there and just have him sort of stand on his glider if you want. But having him crouch is a little more classic too. Takes a little bit to balance it out, but that's pretty nice. And you can make it go high, medium, or low depending on how you want to have your glider positioned. But this is pretty awesome. You can actually, make him fly a little bit. He also comes with an alternate Norman Osborn head that I've placed on this Professor X body. Spider-Man fists on here from the 6-arm Spider-Man because I had spares. And you can actually swap heads with him. But there's your Norman for you. It looks really good. It has these nice little cornrows on here. That's pretty cool. The expression is very just sort of stern and I'm so disappointed in you, son. Why not, right? Happy Halloween. Really good head sculpt, good figure, just not the best in the wave. So I've already touched on my undying love for Mysterio. I love the shading on his sort of armor right here, crisscross hatches and all the sort of dirtying up they put to him. That looks really great, looks nice. I love the gold too. I'm not a fan of the mauve cape though, that color. And he's so low on the list because this is such a stacked wave. You know, there's a lot of great figures in here, a lot of classics, and it's a Spider-Man retro wave. That's amazing. We also have this really nice sort of like checker pattern on here, looks beautiful. The gold looks wonderful. Again, the code's on his on the bottom because it can't be on his legs right here. It looks really cool. Articulation's a little bit sort of loosey-goosey and free. I'm not sure if the mold is degrading or anything, but he still has good articulation for Mysterio, which is nice. You don't really need him to do much, just stand around and look intimidating and scary, but it's good for what it is, and I like it a lot. And I find that just Mysterio's a great character, great figure, but also there's some downsides to him as well. Like this little thing won't go down. You gotta push that down and sort of heat it up, squeeze it a little bit, and it may pop in. His head is kind of different than what I really wanted to see him as, because it's this kind of thing right here. Instead of having the sort of fishbowl effect, you got this sort of translucent head that I actually use in a kitbash for the Kurt Connors figure, the Multiple Man head, and it looks cool. It's a hologram kind of thing. I just don't get it. I wish they gave us that greenish looking kind of snake skull head, but this is just kind of weird. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's kind of free floating on that ball peg. It's kind of weird. I'd rather have it like this. I like the opaqueness though, more of this crystal ball thing on his head. As far as accessories, same thing, just they gave him some smoke as the last thing before. And they didn't really even change the sculpt, which is weird. They didn't really do anything more with it. It's just the same color as that head under there. Yeah, the weird kind of effects. So it doesn't make sense why they gave him that head and they gave him these effects, because these are more mystical, weird, and strange. Why not give him the mystical, weird, and strange head? Why give him the normal head? Why not just give him a different head underneath and then a regular head on the side? That would have been way better instead of this. So here's both Mysterios together. We have the release from the Lizard Wave on the left, retro release on the right. We have classic, we have an ultimate. We also have a spare head for the Mysterio on the left. We'll just remove that real quick. The elusive, coveted green head right here. And putting that back over here, like gruesome kind of skull thing. Slide that on over there. You put the peg back over here. And there's the white head. I like the green one a little bit more, but the white will do. Honestly, I'm thinking of just taking this and putting it over here. I have a spare Mysterio too. I could play around with it. Meanwhile, this elusive piece, that's pretty cool. Tentacles and the octopus tentacles going around there. Nice little touch. Very creepy head. Also to say with these guys that this one has a wash over here. This one doesn't have a wash. I just really like this one a lot more than this one. But again, the colors work incredibly well in this one too. So it isn't the perfect Mysterio yet. I may have to sort of kitbash around a bit and figure out how to make these both work. Mysterio is great. He's just not the best in this wave. So here's Gwen Stacy next, and I think she's awesome. Really great figure, beautiful sculpt on her. I think a lot of this is new. Belt looks really great. I love all the accessories she comes with. The head's really nice too. Looks really good. Finally, we have a nice one of Gwen Stacy. I can retire this kitbash right over here and change it into somebody else. This is a good kitbash for its time, but now I don't need it anymore. And I can get this Gwen Stacy and use her instead for my Gwen Stacy in my collection. She also comes with this head right here, this Mary Jane head. You've seen this before, yet it's all different now. Now that I can use the head that comes with this, I don't need the other head that came in the MJ 2-pack, and I'm perfectly fine with this. This is just great. I mean, look at it. Beautiful details everywhere. Looks really nice on this body. Back to the main event, Gwen Stacy. She comes with a bunch of stuff. Let's go over it. Daily Bugle right here, just a simple rolled-up newspaper. Good sculpting, good paint. We have a Midtown High School little manual book. Got some dark colors on there. Just simple book. And then a binder, one of those little things you buy for school. Looks really nice, but a little kiddish for me. I like the coloring on it, though. The bright teal sort of makes it pop here. Articulation for her is really good. Also, she has good joints, and they work really well. Her skirt has a little cut in it right over here, so she can do the splits if you need her be, but she can't really do them that far because this one doesn't have a cut in it on this side right here. It would have been nice if they had two cuts on it. It would have worked way better, so she could get better posing, but she can only go this far at least. So we're doing some kind of stretch or like a lean or whatever. Her hands come in this kind of like sort of spell casting kind of thing, which she doesn't even cast spells, but she can hold stuff well with it. She can hold the newspaper over there. She comes with high heels that actually function really well. I hear a lot of people complaining about them, but I think they're fine. She has a rotating ball jointed torso over here. Her head's on a ball and a hinge. Goes down and up. Looks really great. She can move. She can't really sit down that well because of her skirt, and she can move her legs really well up. No calf cut over there, and an ankle swivel instead of a pivot. It won't really pivot. It just swivels a little bit. It goes up and down pretty fairly well though, so that's good, I guess. Great figure. Love it. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also click the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. So next up is Electro, one of the last members to complete the Sinister Six. He looks wonderful. I love his sculpt, I love his paint, I love everything about him. He's great. We don't get those glowing eyes like we did last time. We have a real manic smile and some evil eyes over there. I like the sort of lightning bolts on the sides. They look wonderful. This one has a little bend to it, but I'm cool with it. I just gotta keep straightening out a little bit and it'll eventually go back into place. Good range on his arms over here. Good joints on these. These are cast in the translucent plastic and painted yellow. They look wonderful and transition nice, really well. He also comes with these two fists. You can swap in on those. I like keeping him having the electric effects. They look really cool. The paint on these are really particularly good. I mean, they really carry back and sort of, really just go together. Look very nice. Swivel over here. His legs don't go out that far. Swivel on top. Legs don't really go up and down in the pivot, and swivel on the boot right here. Very nice figure. I like him a lot. I'm just really happy to get my Sinister Six done. I'm my Sinister Six. I am my Ultimate Six. Let's take these off real quick and put on the new fist right here, fist right there for when he's just relaxing and chilling or whatever. He also comes with these little lightning bolts over here. They're kind of wavy. That's good. They're very rubbery. Yeah, beautiful figure. Electro's awesome. Get him. So here's the older modern Electro next to the new retro Electro, and I find the old modern one is still as good. This guy's really cool and he put a bunch of effects on him. I gave him the sunspot hands, the black ones. Finally, we have some black-fisted hands that work well. Electro's just a really great villain. I love him. So here we have Daredevil, and he's awesome. I love this guy so much. Look at him. He's like all shiny and armored. I love the little DD on his chest right over here. The articulation is fantastic on this guy. He can't really raise his arms, but he doesn't really need to raise his arms that much. He's wonderful. Beautiful figure. I love the colors, like a cherry kind of red. Very shiny. The arms go like this. He has these cool little bracers right here with these little batons right there. Nice, great touch on that. Looks really good on both arms too. Really good. Splits over here. It looks really nice on this guy. I love these leg guards. They're wonderful. They're really nice. Good articulation on this guy. Very nice paint and very nice sculpt on him too. I think this is a new body, kind of like a new overlay. These little pieces on the back are really cool. He has interchangeable hands you could place on and also an interchangeable head. Just remove some of the bracer pieces and put on the new ones along with the new hand and give him a baton instead of having the one in his arm. I love the options you get with this guy. It's fantastic. This might be the best Daredevil yet, actually, I think. I like the classic-y ones, but man, this armored one just scratches some kind of cool itch that I just need to think about. Wow, that's great. Beautiful figure. We also have a Matt Murdock head you could put on him. It's reminiscent of Cyclops a little bit. Looks really nice. Very nice. Love the hair sculpt on that. Looks really good. These are held in his hands very tightly. They won't come off at all. You can also make it a little bit longer over here for a more baton kind of effect, like a longer kind of thing. And you can also, mix and match the hands, mix and match anything you want over here. He's fantastic and wonderful, and he's Daredevil. Finally, we have Spider-Man himself, and he is one of the best figures in this line. I think one of the best Marvel Legends out of 2020 in general. He looks wonderful. This sculpting is great. Brand new parts, I think, for the whole body. So now we're going to get a whole slew of Spider-Man that are all different and look really cool. Fascinating. Wonderful body sculpt. It comes with this really nice kind of, torso joint up here. We have a torso bend over here. Really great range on that right here. You can make him do little pivots over here and wiggle it all around. He has armpit joint over there for the butterflies. He goes up and down, looks really great. Around, up. The whip hand goes really well over here. This fist over here goes really great over here. We also have on his legs a drop down joint. That's awesome. Can drop up and down depending on how you'd want the legs. You want more articulation, you want less articulation, you have to go way up. That's amazing. Beautiful splits right there. Goes out as far as you possibly would want it to, and that's wonderful too. He's got swivels over here. He's got these nice little knee joints over here. Swivel, pivot, up, down. Wow. Man, he's like superposable. You could do whatever you want with him. It's fascinating. You have him do the rockets and kick. That's wonderful. Okay, so accessories. I don't really use these that much, actually. The hands, I've sort of gotten rid of because the other figures have way better hands. The hands that come with him, he comes with whip hand. He comes with a fist. He doesn't come with a wall crawling hand. So now we got this head right here. Same kind of sculpting-ish. one sort of like angrier looking face with the sort of mean eyes, and you got this sort of dull, surprised looking face. They both look pretty good though, but the real star is the alternate hands that I gave him. You could actually give him the hands from the other figure right here, the all new, all different Spider-Man. Port those in, they look fine, and it looks really nice. You can actually put these hands on, and there's no difference at all. I mean, from a distance, do they look the same? Yeah, maybe a little bit of gloss, sure. But the body's glossy too, and it just looks phenomenal. Go, Spidey, go. I also got a little baggie with more hands in here I don't want to put on yet. They've outdone themselves as Spider-Man. Bravo, Hasbro, and this is just phenomenal right here. I also got to mention the newly designed head range on him. You can go back really far, not too far forward. Got a nice tilt, because it's actually a barbell back here. It's pretty cool. There's a little cut in the neck, which is kind of weird. But if you put it back here, you get some good front range. That's really nice. So here is the older Spider-Man from the Raft series with the all-new, all-different Spider-Man head and hands on there. And this has just replaced this one right over here. Sorry, buddy, but you're now second to this guy. The best articulation you've seen on Spider-Man, and I love it a lot. Yeah, the blue's darker on this one. I like that. The head doesn't look as good either, but it's just phenomenal how this Spider-Man has just evolved into this beautiful specimen of Spidey. So here we have Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, a great villain, one of my top 10, and he's just really awesome. We have a fancier version on the left, like for dinner parties and such. We have a little more refined version on the right for sort of just more casual wear in a way. And that's the new one, the retro one, the sort of de facto Build-A-Figure for this wave, even though he did not come as a Build-A-Figure in pieces. But he's still great all the same. This figure is amazing, wonderful. Everyone has been looking after Kingpin parts, and now they can easily get Kingpin for a low, low price instead of going after several different figures and coming up with nothing. But I'm glad I have both of these. They're great. I can use one for one situation, other for the other. I'm using the one on the left for the Daredevil villains, and I'm using the one on the right for Spider-Man villains. That's really cool. I'm just glad that they gave us the option of having multiples. One's a little more animation inspired, the other's a little more comic inspired, and they're just great all the same. Kingpin is a wonderful villain. He's just really cool. Got all these different sort of moves he can do, and the articulation is really nice in this guy. Single joints sort of everywhere, yet he doesn't really need to move too much. He just sort of is imposing, and he's kind of scary in a way. In a more realistic manner than all the other villains, at least, where they present a supernatural superhero kind of threat, Kingpin himself has a kind of just a normal threat. He's a normal guy. He's huge, but he's a normal guy pretty much, with peak human strength at least. The jacket looks really nice. The underneath looks really good. It's purple and orange. Why would I not like this guy? The back looks really cool. The bald, shiny head looks great. He has a little gold button over here, some buttons that are black over here. That's really cool. His ring color is red, just like the other one on here. And they're both the same kind of figure. They just have a couple differences as far as colors go. I really like them both. I'm going to keep them both in my collection. And man, this Kingpin. Also, we got a little purple over here. That's nice on this one over here. Same kind of stuff, just all in white. We have all in purple and a little more multicolored over here, a little more monotone over here. As far as accessories go for them, this one comes with a beat-up head, the retro one. Looks really nice. And this one over here comes with a more sort of just angry in general head. Getting my lights over a little bit. Looks really good. I like these a lot. Very grumpy, very angry heads. I love the bruising on this one and these cuts on this. I like the sheer madness of this one, how angry this one is. They also have canes. The retro one comes with this brown cane over here, and the Build-A-Figure comes with this cane over here. There's some paint missing on this one a little bit, and it's fine. The gold is actually a little bit more refined over here. It looks really nice over here, kind of a more yellowy gold. Give it a little more sort of bronzy brass kind of gold. I wish they had changed the colors of these little diamonds on the top, making this one red, this one white or clear, as it were. You can actually take a marker and make it red, but I don't like painting my figures too much. I like him as is. And as is, Kingpin is a wonderful figure, and I love him a lot. So that's my review on all these figures. It's a incredible wave. A lot of swings, no misses. And what misses there are just the fact that it's a remolded figure from the past. Wow, these are incredible. I love these guys all so much. Even Daredevil, who I literally opened for this review and didn't even touch before. They're just phenomenal figures, and let's go over them from back to front. Peter Parker is great. He just needs a little bit of touch-up on those glasses, and he'll be fine. I like the accessories a lot. He's really cool, but just a reused body mold. Same with Goblin, reused body mold, and the colors are really cool, yet that other head doesn't escape me. I love the Norman Osborn head. You could use that for kit bashing and stuff, and great figure also. Mysterio is the same thing as before, but my love for Mysterio puts him at number 3 or so far, and yet I just find that he needs a little more touch up as far as just more accessories or something, or a different head. Just something's missing. He's perfect on the globe there, though. That's a great globe and a great color scheme so far, but the cape needs to be purple. Gwen is awesome. She has a lot of effects, a lot of stuff. Her posability suffers a little bit from those legs and that skirt, yet she is just fire with those alternate heads and everything and all the accessories she has. Electro is incredibly good and a great body mold, great body sculpt, wonderful head, a lot of reused body parts, yet it fits here because it's a classic Electro and the nostalgia just overwhelms me. Daredevil is a surprise hit for me. I love the cherry color, red, the shiny stuff, the silver, the black, all the colors mesh well together. The accessories are phenomenal. I love those batons, how they could split from his arms into batons he could hold in his hands, and that's just great too. Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man we've ever had as far as Marvel Legends, or I think any action figure I've had goes. He has amazing articulation, worthy of a higher price figure, yet you can get him for like $20, and he's just perfect. Also, awesome heads, alternate heads. He has great hands. I wish he came with wall-crawling hands, but that's fixable with different figures and stuff, and that's just incredible. Kingpin is, what can I say, just perfection. He is the ultimate version of this character. I love the eyebrows that are painted differently, and I love the colors that are painted differently on him, separated from the Build-A-Figure release. He's a nice, colorful version of the Wilson Fisk we've all come to know and love, and the alternate head is a nice bonus with him getting beat up and stuff, and it'll go well with some of your Spider-Man and Daredevil figure posing. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Heck Creative. Feel free to click like, subscribe, share, or leave a comment. You can also visit us at jesseheckcreative.com, where you'll find more reviews like this one. Thanks again for watching and keep being creative. Stay tuned.